Hi guys, this is Sean Alicia from Sensational Gifts and Shalicia Skincare. Today we are going to be looking at the topic of hair dyes, that is covering the grays. Many persons have this issue, and so we're going to be doing a DIY using stuff that you should or may have at home, especially if you are here in Jamaica. So somebody had recently asked if I knew anything about covering the grays. So I said, yes, it's a topic that many persons are concerned with because as you grow older, yeah, it's a natural thing to get gray, but persons often want to maybe cover those grays because it's a little stark, or they prefer their hair darker. So today we're going to be using, as I said, some common stuff to do the dye. It's not necessarily what I would call a natural hair dye because of some of the things we're using. However, it's really a do-it-yourself kind of dye because it's simple and it's using common stuff that you find in your own home. So we're going to be using curry as the main component, the main coloring to bring out the color of the dye, along with some hydrogen peroxide. I also have some coffee, some Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee. I have also some cinnamon powder. I have as well some mayonnaise, and I'm going to be using some black Jamaican castor oil. That's also, I believe, essential. And why curry? Curry is a mix of different spices. Spices such as curcumin, turmeric, which we know gives a nice rich orangey yellow color. It has coriander sometimes in it, fenugreek, which is excellent for the hair. It sometimes has cloves, depending on the manufacturer. They may add cloves, they may add black pepper, and other things, other spices that are actually quite excellent for the hair. Even cinnamon too is often added to some curries, and red peppers and all of that. So we see things that they add that are spices that actually are beneficial to maintaining health of your hair, growing your hair, allowing your hair to retain, good nutrition. And so curry, there's nothing wrong with using our own curry powder that we find at the marketplace or supermarket. Hydrogen peroxide is an activator, and this is one of the reasons why some persons find that the so-called natural hair dyes don't really work for them, because people just make videos and make things up, and as they go along they say, oh, just use the cinnamon powder, just use the coffee, just use the black tea bag, just use the molasses or this or that. There's nothing wrong with using some of these things, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with using these things. These things can actually help in the dyeing process, but there's something that they're missing or they're not telling you, something they may know or may not know, and it's that the dye, as any commercial dye, needs an activator. Yes, it needs a strong acid that activates the dye itself, or the coloring itself, the thing that's going to be the main producer of color in the dye, to make it really work. Right? Without that, even though you may have a good coloring, from a food product, it will not necessarily work for you, because our hair has a pH, right? And whatever we are using in the hair has to be able to penetrate the hair follicles, the hair cuticles, to get into it. And so we need something that actively activates the dye in the process to get into the hair shaft. Also, we need a fat. We need something that helps keep or retain the dye on the hair long enough for it to penetrate. Water alone doesn't really work. You need something. So even using boiling water, rather, it really brings out the coloring of the dye or the product that you're gonna use. But by itself, water may get into a little extent, just like when you put water on your hair and leave it. Some may get in, some won't, right? It's important that we have a fat, maybe olive oil or coconut oil, or as I'm using the mayonnaise, which already contains some oils and fats that will help retain, the moisture in the hair as you wet it, and allow the dye more power and time to really concentrate and get into the hair, so that it will really do the work that it's supposed to do. Right, so yes, we are going to be using some cinnamon, and we're going to be using some coffee as well. And these are natural stuff that we have. However, we do need some extra power. So these are things that you may have at home, and I'm going to show you how to get started on this. So the mayonnaise I'm using is past its due date, and that's completely fine. If you're going to be using it, in your hair and stuff like that, it doesn't matter, right? We just want to get the grease or the fat that's in the mayonnaise to work for this process. So I've added the mayonnaise, and I'm going to add some coffee to it as well. And you can let me know if you want the specific ingredients. Afterwards, I can send that to you. If you want it, just comment ingredients or list, and I will let you have that information. I'm also going to add some cinnamon. As for the curry, I'm adding more of that than the cinnamon or the coffee. I've also added my black Jamaican castor oil to it. So I've already added to the mayonnaise my coffee, my cinnamon, my curry powder, and my black Jamaican castor oil. And now it's time to add the peroxide. Alright, so I'm just gonna add some peroxide to it. Eyeballing that. And then we will mix it properly. So after you mix and try get out the lumps, yeah, it's supposed to be thick like this. It's not supposed to be watery, because you don't want it running all over your face. So it's thick like this, having eyeball the hydrogen peroxide. And its color, as you can see, is light, like a brownish color. So that will be the color that the hair supposed to come out a little lightish. I don't want it really black. If you want recipe for a black hair dye using the same curry powder, it's possible by adding a couple of other ingredients. And if you really want to make it really a great dye that can even be commercialized, then there is a recipe for that, and you can purchase that from me. That will be a commercial hair dye that can last a month, 2 months in your hair, depending on how you use it and the ingredients that are put in it, right? So let me know if you try this, how it turns out. You keep it on for at least an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, cover your hair if you want, and let that heat get in there. But the longer you put it on, then the better, or the stronger the color will be. So if you can keep it in 3-4 hours, fine, it will be even more penetrated into the hair. All right, so people, let me know if you want the recipe, the exact ingredients, and I can give you that, as well as the recipe for making a stronger hair dye. This dye will last probably about 2 to 3 weeks, but if you want a hair dye that's really strong and that can last longer on the hair for say a month or two, 6 weeks to 2 months, then that is available for purchase using the PDF guide that I will let you know all the information, and that is something that you can even make and sell yourself. It can be a commercial product that you sell yourself and make some good money. That's what we are into. That's what our aim is, to use our gifts and our abilities. And if you like using hands-on kind of work to make money, to make income for yourself, especially in the beauty field, then I'm here for you. All right, like, share, and subscribe.